This is Alex Holcomb with Applied Information Sciences, and in this webcast I'm going to show you how to work with the hold framework inside of the Record Center to place multiple items on hold. So let's get started. Now what I've got here is an out-of-the-box Record Center site. I created this using the Microsoft Office SharePoint Server Record Center site template, and that provides a couple ways for us to apply holds. We can apply them to individual records one at a time, or we can run a search and apply a hold to that entire search result set. What I want to do here, however, is apply a hold to all the items contained within a specific folder. Now, what I've got set up is this financial statements library, which contains an FY06 folder, and that contains 5 records that I want to put on hold. In the holds list, I've added an item called matter1234, and this is the hold I want to apply to all the records inside that FY06 folder. Now, I'm going to do that using a console application. And there's 3 basic steps that we go through. One is getting the ID of that item in the holds list, right? That represents the hold. The second is getting a collection of list items that we want to place on hold. And then the third is actually applying that hold to that collection of list items. So let's go ahead and start my console application here. And first you'll notice that I'm using this Microsoft.Office.RecordsManagement.Holds namespace. This provides a hold class to us that we can use to interact with the underlying hold framework. And this will allow us to do things like place records on hold, or remove hold from records, or evaluate if a record is on hold, this kind of functionality. By the way, this is in the Microsoft.Office.Policy DLL, so you want to make sure that you reference that if you want to use this in your project. So what we want to do is go through the first step, which is get the ID of the hold item, right? The item that we want to use from our holds list. Now, first thing I do is get the hold list, right? Now, I could do a web.lists and then bracket and then the name of the hold list, but I may not know what that is, right? That name may change, etc. So instead, from this hold class that I mentioned, right, there's a get holds list method where we pass in the web, and it will return the holds list for us from that web. Right? In this case, once we get that, we just really want the first item in the list, since there's only one item there, and that's the item for the hold that we want to use. Right? So we get the ID for that hold item. The next step is to go and get a collection of list items that we want to place on hold. Right? And in our case, it's all of those items contained within that FY06 folder. So we go ahead and get reference to the list and to the folder, and I run a query for everything in that folder. And this gives me back a list item collection of all those items inside of that FY06 folder. Right? So finally, the last step is to apply the hold to that collection of list items. And again, in that hold class, there's a set hold method, which takes a hold ID. It's overloaded, so it takes either an individual list item or a collection of list items, and then comments that you can add as to why you're applying the hold. So we go ahead and execute this. It passes that collection of records to the underlying hold framework. That takes care of applying the hold. And we finish this off and come back to our FY06 folder, and we look at it, and all those records now, you can see they have this hold status of on hold, right? So it's taken care of labeling internally that these are on hold, as well as identifying this hold status for us, right? Now, it treats these records and their hold status just as it would any other record that's placed on hold in any other fashion, right? So if we look at the hold itself, we'll see that it recognizes that those 5 items are on hold. We can look at the hold report, and they will show up. And the whole point of this, placing these holds, is to suspend any disposition or expiration policies that may be applied to those records. Right? And what that means is, with this hold applied, if I have any policies that say that these records need to be deleted, all that processing will be suspended while the hold is in place. Okay, when that hold is removed, then those expiration and disposition policies will continue to run. Okay, so that is, I hope I've given you an idea of how to place items, a collection of items on hold. You could certainly take this example and extend it if you wanted to build a nicer interface, like your own custom ASPX page for defining what folders you wanted to apply the hold to, or any kind of custom searching you want to use to apply holds or anything like that. You certainly could. But I hope this gives you some insight in how you can take these items and place them on hold.